Hello everyone, my wonderful school owners on School Owners Forum, admins, heads of schools. Thank you very much for joining this class once again. I am David Adeniji and I'm coming your way again from the studios of the School Owners Forum. I know you are all on break, maybe some of us are still working, but we thank God for this wonderful year, compliments of the season. Of course, everybody knows, but let me tell you, in case you are joining us for the first time, School Owners Forum, that is the School Owners Forum, is Nigeria's largest training network of school owners, teachers, and parents. And what we really want to do is to enlighten us and make sure we run our business in ways that are very, very easy. I want to make sure that we achieve what we are supposed to achieve with very little resources. Okay, this series we started, I think the last class we were looking at what will be new in your school come next year or next year. What will be new in your school? So I continue in this class by telling us 10 things that must be new about your school, 10 things that must be new, that must change, at least 10 things that must change about your school in the new year or next term. Now, I'd like to let you know that most of these things I'm teaching are included in our book, my new book, or the books. There are 2 books that are currently trending among school owners, and we've sold hundreds of copies. I'm talking about the 4-legged school growth strategy. That book is a big book. It's a huge resource. It's almost 400 pages of training that you cannot afford to miss. It's going to bless you. It will teach you greater and bigger things than many of the trainings that you have even paid money to attend. The 4-legged school growth strategy, and the second one is for teachers, the indispensable teacher. The indispensable teacher. The 4-legged school growth strategy will teach you innovative strategies that will harness the potentials of the 4 active stakeholders in every school business for unusual increase and transformation, while the indispensable teacher, a must-have for all your teachers, will teach them wisdom for harnessing their own passion, maximizing your platform, which is the school, and fulfilling their own purpose, while they boost their productivity as a teacher in your school. Today's class again is titled 10 things that must change about your school come next year, next term, or maybe next session, whichever time you are listening to this. Okay, let me also tell you that we have 2 wonderful training packages for teachers and heads of schools. Yeah, the one for teachers is called Leadership, Attitude, Skills, and Ethics. It will hold in your school. Just give us a date. And the one for heads of schools is named the Effective School Management. These trainings are bumper. You cannot afford to miss any of them. You can talk to me and I'll give you details. You can visit our website on schoolownersforum.com. Schoolownersforum.com. Let me not talk too much. Let's go right into today's class. Okay, 10 things that must be new about your school, about you, about your teachers, about your workspace, everything. Just listen to me. Just follow me. When I talk like this, when I teach from the field experience that we have almost on daily basis. We are on the field talking to one school owner or teacher or parent, or just gathering information to help my people. Of course, on the School Owners Forum, we have over 10,000 participants. The only way to remain or stand a chance, I'm trying to do a short summary of last class. I said that the only way to remain or stand any chance of thriving in this business is to prove that you deserve to be there. That your reason for running a school, if you were in last class, you will remember this, that your reason for running that school is bigger than money. Your present size irrespective. The bigger your school, the bigger your competitors, the more imperative it is then that you separate yourself from every available clutter, and hence the more important it is that you take on new innovations that will keep your name on the lips of all and sundry. The more people talk good about your school in your community, the better for you. That summarizes last class in case you missed it. But you can look for the whole clip. It's a huge class also. Just look for it either on the platform or on our website or on our social media platform. Just search for School Owners Forum. Today, let me pick 2 of these 10 things that you change about your school. I'm going to be talking broadly and generally. Whichever way or whichever area it affects you, just pick it and work on it. Today, let me focus on certain things that must change about your teachers, about you particularly, and about your relationship, the way you deal with your stakeholders. See, all of these things are very important. Permit me, first of all, to express my displeasure about the attitude of many school owners towards the conduct of their teachers. Sometimes you even find it difficult to convince a school owner that he or she is in charge, or that he's the owner of her school and should not condone ineptitude. Sometimes I ask, who is working for who? Are you working for them? Okay, you want to say we are working together? Yes, even where we are working together, there must be the place of the boss. The boss stops at your table. Now, don't stop. Just follow me. Don't fear everyone. So that's a message for somebody, because that's what I see when I deal with you. They appear to fear. Don't fear everyone. Something makes me again unhappy when I interact with schools. You see a school owner being very careful with everything and every move, and does not want to offend any parent. Now, of course, that may be understandable, but in many instances it is overstretched. I know you don't want to offend your parent, but in many instances it is overstretched to an extent where they are already riding on your intelligence. Now listen, they don't want a negative. I know you don't want a negative avalanche that could lead to parents pulling out children. I understand. That can be justified, but it then becomes too pronounced in your dealings, and it results to some sort of fear that makes it impossible for you to even put down your foot on anything and insist on the exact kind of treatment you deserve. I feel sad when I see that instead of you controlling your school, some people are controlling it for you. You can't make decisions because you are afraid of people pulling out. Hey, we need to get past that stage. Case study 1. I'm talking about 10 things that must change about your school. Come next term or next session or next year, whichever time you are listening to this. Case study 1. So today in this class we'll be covering 2. Case study 1, that is the first point. You are the one that brought yourself here. You now fear all your parents. Listen, when I use the word fear, I know what I'm saying. I've gone to almost every kind of school and I see this syndrome everywhere. You now fear your parents, right? Okay, now listen to this. You admit every child into your college. Now this is case study 1. I'm painting a picture. You admit every child into your school. You always you want to admit everyone. Or let's just say into certain classes of the school. Your fee is not cheap among competitors, and so you do not really have a reasonable cutoff point in your entrance test. Does that describe you? Okay. Your tests are just a formality. I hope that is not you. If it is you, just begin to work on it. You want to admit every child into any class their parents insist, provided they are ready to pay all your fees. You want to admit every prospect. You pitch to your parents that however low the academic strength of these intakes, you have teachers capable enough to transform them into sterling performances in spite of their faulty foundation and within an impossible time. It does not describe you, because I'm painting a situation. You forget that the burden falls on your teachers and not on you. The moment you receive school fees, you then order them, that you order your teachers to carry out your promise to the parents. Now, this stance should be corrected, if not reversed. It is not good. Whether your teachers are commensurately motivated to go that extra mile, to go that self-inflicted extra mile to fill those gaps that ought to have been filled in the children before they got enrolled, is a question left unanswered. And then in most cases, the teachers never meet those tasks. They work out their veins and the children don't even get transformed as you have promised. Not because your teachers are incompetent or qualified enough, but because the deficiencies needed to be filled are just too wide.
Does that describe you or your school or your operations? The children admitted do not have the right foundation. And worse still, your teachers aren't motivated enough to possess the required excitement and selflessness needed to perform super. Let that super be capital. Super. If you have been there, you know what I'm saying. We can't feign ignorance, believe me. See, we can't always feign ignorance. We better pay attention to this issue. Too many periods for teachers combined with loads of extracurricular assignments, coupled with compulsory meetings and deadlines leading to memos and queries here and there due to irrational fluctuations in their characters as a result of the heavy workload. All this will only make your workspace a mine instead of a home. If you hear this and do something about it, good for you. That is what I see everywhere I go. That is what I see. I deal with these issues firsthand. And I think it's okay, it's just fit for me to discuss them with you. Sometimes when I come to your schools, your teachers will tell me what you cannot tell me. And it's the onus lies on me to help us out with all of these things. So look at it. The resulting problem. At this level, you fear the parent. That's why I'm just trying to build a background. That's why you are fearing the parent. You fear the parent. Why? Because what they paid for isn't happening. They aren't getting what they paid for. Because you have promised what you cannot deliver and they have paid all your quoted fees. They don't want stories. They want results. You may have put yourself in a difficult situation. Why? Because your teachers do not have the right motivation to make your promises good. Notice, almost every secondary school fall into this trap. The era of children not meeting admission requirements after entrance examinations is rapidly becoming alien. We keep lowering the cutoff marks and awarding scholarships or discounts just to get the parents enticed and get the children enrolled at all costs. I have said repeatedly that not every prospect should be admitted. Not every parent that checks in your school for inquiry should be followed up. I think you should begin to choose what you want, and I think you should begin to promise what you can deliver. See, this is not good. It has to change. It puts undue pressure. A policy should not be adjudged perfect only because it swells your own purse. Even where it brings money, consider the practicability with your staff, the laborers, those who will do the job. Run your school on policies and principles and not on sheer sentiment. Now that is the first case. So that should change. You should do something about this issue of workload getting too much for teachers. I know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, you want to drive them to deliver. You don't get the results you want. I think you should, from the end of a parent, check what you promise your parents and make sure that you have put on ground exactly what is required to deliver on those promises. I mean, you know all of these things. I'm just reminding you. All right. Case study 2. That is the second thing, the second point. This one is needless. You also now fear teachers. It's a pity many school owners also now fear teachers. You know this saying that the fear of losing teachers just few days to resumption is the beginning of resumption. You don't want to do that. So many times, because you have not done the right thing right from the beginning, you now begin to fear teachers. You may not have told any of them, but I know because many have told me, and I even see it myself. But that fear is needless. That situation you have put yourself is not necessary. If you have done your homework well and you have not fallen into the trap I painted in case study 1 with the parents, you don't need to fear your teachers. Whatever you allow, always remember that your school is your school. Hello, your school is your school and the buck stops at your table. If you like, convert your business into a sort of democracy where you vote. You people now vote to have ideas accepted or implemented. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful qualification, wonderful people you have. They're going to help you. But you should know that the highest decision making exercise resides with you, and you must be careful with that. Business is not a democracy. There should be levels of decision making that should not be left at the mercy of your subordinates. I once told you that no matter how big a conglomerate a business becomes, the owner knows himself or herself. Even where corporate governance appears to be evidently enshrined, everyone knows that Zenith Bank belongs to Jimovia. You see, we know all of these things, so you should never convert your school to a democracy whereby, people, you debate every decision, you debate every implementation, as if you now have staffs or heads of school who can put themselves in your shoes 100%. Remember that no matter what the case is, however loyal they appear to be with you, they are still your staff. The buck stops on your table. The buck of decision making stops on your table, and there should be some form of ingenuity in that. There should be some form of intuition. There are things you see that they do not see. The banks do not call them to come and refund loans. They call you. You understand? When parents want to leave the school, the buck stops on your table, or when they want to enroll, you give the final approval of all those checks. So the best decisions, especially when it comes to the future of the school, should depend on you and not on your subordinate. I know what I'm saying. Your subordinates may now be your children, your biological children. They may not be those you have groomed for years. I understand. But understand your place in all of this. For example, many school executives, I'm talking about heads of schools and principals and wonderful people I have, even on our platform. Many school executives are digital immigrants, qualified and experienced. And because they are digital immigrants, they are trying to creatively force themselves into the flow. They are not paying enough attention. They still see ICT as a mere subject in school and not a tool to move the school to a new level. And that's a big mistake. You employ one ICT teacher and want him to double as teacher and overall ICT support provider for the whole school, fixing computers and laptops, attending to edutech providers, and managing every software. You forget that in this era, a teacher that claims not to have internet data on his or her smartphone has no business in your school. He shouldn't even be seen as a teacher, talk less of head teacher or maybe head of school. The resultant negative effect is the outright reluctance of school executives, the reluctance they show towards every form of switch from analog operations to digital. Their argument is parents are not ICT savvy, so why should you force them to check results online? For example, on Thinkalite school management software, for instance. Are you kidding me? Listen, are you kidding me? In 21st century, where all parents are on WhatsApp, please, let's step up our game. I'd like you as school owner to surround yourself with a mixture of digital natives and immigrants, so that there will be a balance between the old and the modern. Let your teachers submit weekly reports via email. Respond to those mails and conduct meetings online sometimes. Trust me, it saves time, space, and resources. Not all issues require a physical meeting. I am, however, impressed with the performance of many of us online since we started SOF. I personally, as a person, I'm a few years older than the digital natives, but I'm a software developer and internet expert. This has greatly helped our business strategies on SOF and other platforms. So now this is something I'd like you to pay close attention to. Now that's just an example. I'm saying that surround yourself with people who are ready to break their box and leap for the new levels. Do not surround yourself with people who claim to have reached bus stop. Yeah, you say they have spent 20-25 years in your school. Oh wow, wonderful. But are you sure that the reason they are staying that long is not because they don't want to grow? Well, I'm sorry if this speaks to you. Just go and amend or do something. I mean, I'm speaking from my heart. It's a burden I have. I go out almost on daily basis and I see problems that school owners would find it difficult to solve if they don't surround themselves with the right set of people. But there's good news. School owners, please be careful of the people you saddle with decision making in your school this new year. I repeat, be careful with be wary of the people you saddle with decision making in your school this next time or next session. Make sure they aren't there for their own purposes, and they are not warding off every good ideas we try to sell to you, all because they want to appear smart or doing their jobs. I'm not saying you now make all decisions alone. What I'm saying is that a healthy balance will help you a great deal. I can continue and go on, but I think we should pause the class here. In this class, I have shared 2 important things that must change in your school. I don't know if I can do a recap, but I talked about the parents. Do not fear them, and I told you the reasons what you should do. And I also talked about teachers. Do not fear your teachers. I also showed you what should be done if you are to. I also said in this class that you should be careful of the people you saddle with decision making. I told you in this class that you should not convert your business to a democracy where everybody now votes before you implement ideas and decisions that will move your school from one level to another. If you need to start a new annex, go and start it. If you need to shut one annex, go and shut it. If you need to do something about the recruitment or your staff strength, do it. Avoid redundancy where you employ too many people for very little or nothing. Please check all these things. Do something drastic to remain in this market and to thrive. Please, thank you very much. Remember to pick a copy of our books. The Indispensable Teacher is particularly wonderful for your teachers. Pick it for all your teachers. We're going to give you a good discount. Thank you very much. Also remember the 4-legged school growth strategy, that wonderful big book that will change your school. Also remember our trainings, leadership, attitude, skills and ethics for teachers, effective school management for teachers. Also there's particular training coming up on the 27th to 31st of January 2020. Just check all these details on our Facebook page, School Owners Forum, on our website, schoolownersforum.com, and on the WhatsApp platforms, whichever platform you are listening or reading this. Thank you very much. See you next time. God bless you.